Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have an axle to shorten. Alright, so I got a little project here this afternoon. This is an axle off of a small boat trailer. A very small boat trailer. It pulls a John boat, which is, the whole thing's probably less than 1,000 pounds altogether. The old axle looks like it was a DIY project, and they did it. I guess they did a fairly good job on it. The tubing is actually too big for the stub they used for the axle, but I mean, it's held up obviously for a number of years. However, this side has bent, and it's bent at the axle, and you can see that there's some, the axle's not as big as it was before, let's just put it that way. So we got a new axle, but instead of ordering a custom one that was an exact length, we just ordered a universal one, and we're going to cut it. It's a little bit long, so we're going to cut it down to make it the same as the original one. And the first thing I'm going to do is put the hubs on this axle dry, on the new axle dry, and then I can get a length. I'll use the back of the hub, or excuse me, the front of the hub here as a datum point, and get a length to this one. And then I can get what this length is on the new one, and then take out the difference. That seems to be the easiest way I can think of doing it. Instead of trying to measure from the bearing surface and whatnot, I'll just use the original hub dimension and transfer that to the new one. And honestly, the way that this trailer is set up, I could be an inch out and it wouldn't matter, but we're going to get it close. I also need to put some carrier plates on for the springs. I got a new set of those to weld on, so let's get right into it. Alright, so I already found one problem. I have some oil seals for this, but they came with the hub assembly, but they don't seem to fit, or I guess they're grease seals. They don't seem to fit the shaft. So we'll have to see if we can find some oil seals that are the proper size. And I'm just dry fitting these just to get our measurement. And that oil seal is not going to work. It's not really going to seal much if it's twisting around in the wind there. So I considered using a large micrometer to do this, but unfortunately the largest one I have is about 1 inch too short, so that's not going to work. So we'll just use the old tape measure route. So that is 59 5/8. 59 5/8. And this is 53 1/4. Alexa, what's 59.625 minus 53.25?
59.625 minus 53.25 is 6.375.
Thank you. Alright, so we got to take off 6.375 or 6 3/8. So it doesn't matter where we take it out of here, just as long as we take it off somewhere in the middle. Alexa, what's 59.625 divided by 2?
59.625 divided by 2 is 29.8125.
So I just did 29 7/8. That's near enough the middle. We're going to be a little off to one side on the measurements, but like I said, it's no big deal. So we're going to cut on those two lines, on the inside of those two lines. Let's take our measurement again. Make sure everything's right, because I'm only going to do this once. Just as a sanity check, make sure that that is 6 3/8, and it is 6 3/8. Alright, so I got it in a little bit of a jig here, and I will say this, I was going to put a solid square bar in this joint, and I even had a piece of square bar to do it. The problem is that, if you can see down in there is a ton of weld spatter and I guess it's just buildup overspray from the galvanization process, but there's also that seam, and that seam down in there is probably the biggest problem. I can start the bar in there, but it just doesn't want to go. So I could spend hours and hours trying to clean this out, clean that, and take a long die grinder and get in there and do that, and you know where I'm going here. It's just, it's for this particular job, it's not really worth it, because what I can do is I can weld it up here, and then I can put plating over top of it. And what I'm going to do for plating is some angle iron. If I can take 2 pieces of angle iron, come at an angle just like this piece is, it won't be quite as heavy as this is. This is like 1/4 inch angle iron. Then I can span this distance and to reinforce this cut. So I got my weld prep all done. You see I got a nice deep V there. I got that all the way around. I got it set in this jig, or this piece of angle iron, to get it straight. I've taken a straight edge across it, and it's as straight as it's going to be. This will allow me to get tacks on it, and then I can flip it and do the other side. And then we'll put the outer bracing on the plate on. I guess I should mention as well that I took off the galvanization about 2.5 inches on either side, because I don't want to breed that stuff. I think I got full penetration through there. We're straight, we're solid. Now I just need to grind that back so we can put a couple plates across here. Here it is after the grind back. You can tell there's a little occlusion there, there's a little seam there, seam there. You can tell it was welded. Alright, a couple pieces of angle iron. Like that. Zip, zip, we're done. Right? Yeah. A couple welds have held these in place, and then I can take things off and just start going at it. Alright guys, I'm back out here. It's a couple hours later. I'll explain why in a second, but I'm not sure exactly where I left it, but I got this outer plate welded on. And it's on there. So the reason I'm out here later is because I wanted to let this thing cool, because I was looking at it after I was finished with this plate, and it seemed like I had a little bit of bow in it. And so I thought, well, let me let it cool, let it get to its normalized temperature and see what it looks like. And it turns out I do have a little bit of bow in it. I think what happened was that the welding on the plate heated it up in a way that unevenly, even though I was kind of going back and forth between the plates. And I got a little bit of bow. Luckily, it's only one way. This, in case I didn't mention it before, this axle is not cambered. It's not supposed to be cambered. It's just a straight axle. but now I guess it's got a little bit of camber in it. It's not a lot. It's not even anything I could actually show you. It's just enough that I can kind of see it by eye in the one direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recommend that it's installed in this configuration. That's, say, top. That's got the bow like this. That is like a lot of trailers have a little bit of camber in them, so that's going to be its camber. However, it's such a light duty trailer, I don't know that it's going to have enough load on it to really set this thing straight. It might be better to do it the other way if it doesn't move, and then it's got a little bit of toe out, which is not necessarily a bad thing for a trailer because toe out is a little bit easier to maneuver. But again, it's not a lot. I could, like I say, I can't really show it to you even. We may have 30 or 40 thousandths difference between the edges and the center. And it's kind of hard to tell with this plate in the middle because I'm kind of have a Rube Goldberg sort of straight edge here, trying to figure it out. I also used my little angle thing, so I can set it there and I can zero that, and then I can see the degree difference between the other side. Now if I go to the other side, you see that there's 0.3 down. So because it's a bow from the center, then you're only going to get 0.15, should be something like that. Yeah, it only registers at 0.1. Now, I don't do axles and I don't do car alignments, but I don't think that that's out of the realm of okay. At the end of the day, it's just going to depend on how the tires ride. I can tell you though that the old axle, I sort of did some measurements on it, and it was out by 5 degrees. Is a factors higher than 0.15 degrees. So it did damage the tire, but I don't think this is going to. It's really just, I'm waffling on here, but you know, I'd like your opinion of if you think that it's going to make much of a difference. I'm not very happy about it, obviously. Like I said, I did check it before I put the plate on, and it was spot on. So my initial welds were spot on. So it's something with how I welded the plate. I did not do enough going back and forth on each side of the plate to kind of equal out what was going on, and it got hotter on one side and curved. So that's where we are. This is a personal item, so I'm not really worried about it. If I ruin a tire, I ruin a tire. Like I say, I still have one more thing to do. I got to put some plates on the top, but for the spring carriers. But I'm not going to bore you with that. Really, I just wanted to show doing the amateur axle shortening. Not very happy. Not my favorite way to end a video, but it is what it is. We'll give it a shot and see how the tires wear. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.